And today we're going to cover an overview of the lab series for Panel Pilot, which is by Lesker Electronics. So basically the title of the whole entire lab series is called a CX-driven approach to designing smart displays. All right, so I'm just going to take a moment to share the live feed on social media, and I'll be right back to start on the presentation. Okay, so back. All right. So basically, this online lab series for Lesker Electronics, all right, which focuses on panel pilot display, would actually be about 9 months worth of lab sessions, where I will actually be digging into all the panel pilot display products by Lesker Electronics. Now, this is not your typical video blog or single product tutorial video, but instead, we're going to deep dive into many of those products and explore what you can really do with them, and more importantly, how you can design a great customer experience. Now, we will also be taking a problem solving approach into understanding more about each of these products, and by doing so, you will be able to know how to actually maximize the potential of those products that you have either bought or you are thinking of getting from Lesker Electronics. Now, the total lab series will last roughly 35 lab sessions. That's roughly 35 weeks in total. And along with those lab sessions, there will also be what I like to call companion articles. These companion articles will come in two parts. There will be a pre-session article as well as a post-session article. The, the pre-session articles will provide a look ahead at what is going to be covered for the next session or the upcoming session, and the post-session articles will basically provide a tutorial-like article to help summarize and detail what has been covered during the lab session itself. So just a little bit of background about myself. All right, I am actually a thought leader and seasoned practitioner in Agile UX, CX, Telerik products, which is actually a software UI development tool. And I'm also a thought leader in IoT in Asia. Now, I kind of started my journey in IoT back in 2014. Back then, I was a solution architect. And then I also did some software development that is in integration with some IoT elements of a project. And then I also basically self-taught myself electronics, which I really started in 2014 with my first Raspberry Pi. And I still remember very vividly about 6 months after that, I started to pick up Arduino. And that's how my whole journey into electronics really began. And over the last few years, I have conducted over 300 talks, which includes seminars, workshops, product demos as well. And I actually leave my Twitter handler as well as my LinkedIn URL in the presentation, because later on I will be also uploading this presentation to the article that will be tagged to the video as well. So, if anybody that misses the session will still be able to get access to the video as well as the presentation itself. All right, so just to cover some basic agenda for today's live broadcast, basically we just want to talk about some of the goals and objectives for the upcoming lab series. We're going to explore some of the project ideas. We're going to look at what are topics that we're going to cover during the live session. We're going to look at the lab curriculum outline, all right, what we're going to cover over the next 9 months, and then we're going to work backwards on what we're going to do in each part of the lab curriculum. And then I'm also going to talk about some of the things that you will need if you are interested in following along with the lab series itself. All right, most of the things that will be listed is just a guideline, so you don't have to exactly buy everything. But I think I will share with you later on what are the minimal things that you will probably need in order to follow along with the lab series. And then finally, I'll share with you how you can actually provide feedback and suggestions to us for the lab series itself. Okay, so long before I started my career in IoT, I was already helping to design dashboards for organizations from many different industries. After some time, I also began speaking at various conferences and seminars to talk about how to properly design software-based, web-based dashboards. Taking those experiences with me, the last 4 years I have been applying my UX and CX experiences into dashboard designs for small form factor industrial smart displays. It can be displays from a size of say 2.4 inches all the way to 10-inch display. Knowing how best to display the data under inspection, it's not just science, but sometimes it's also a bit of an art. If you can master designing a dashboard on a smaller screen, chances are you will be able to do a lot more successfully at designing dashboards for larger screens. And sometimes industrial IoT smart display designing is really just about common sense too. So some of the basic goals and objectives for this lab series is really to focus on imparting the CX driven mentality and principles to the developers who's using the design studio, all right, the panel pilot design studio, which I love, by the way. I actually just took some time earlier today to install the software and I play around with it. Um, the only challenge that I faced for myself was because I'm using a Mac environment, so I have to use a virtual machine to literally access my Windows OS. So for a for a Retina display, the scaling and so on makes the software wordings looks a bit small. So for me, that's my personal challenge. So it really makes me appreciate and miss those days when I actually have a Windows laptop. But then again, my point is that the software itself is really good. Kudos to the team at Lesker Electronics. I think you guys really did a really good job with the IDE. All right. If I have a actual Windows laptop right now, honestly, I would really love just spending hours and hours working with the IDE. But yeah, I mean, I still love it. It's just that it's a little bit straining on my eye at the moment. But I will find a way. I'll figure out a way eventually. Anyway. And then we're gonna explore some of the UX design practices in IoT. We're gonna look at how you can, as a designer or a UI developer, if you are working with the Panel Pilot Ace display module for the first time, I'm gonna share some of the UX design practices that you can apply onto the workflow of the Panel Pilot Ace IDE, which is something that you definitely want to pay attention to during the lab series. All right, and then next we're gonna talk about how you need to understand basically the understanding of how to design and develop smart display UIs with the various panel pilot display products. Now, the whole idea why we actually created this online lab series platform is so that we can actually deep dive into each of the products that we are concerned with. In this case, we are concerned with the panel pilot display products. So we are going to deep dive into each of those products over the next 9 months. And we're going to make sure that you who's actually learning and following along will actually become a product knowledge expert, or you could actually be a developer that can become an expert at using the panel pilot Ace IDE, the design studio. All right. So the next thing we want to do is to help you familiarize and also master the Panel Pilot A software. I think the fact that after looking at the software today for myself and trying it out, and later you'll see a small little sample screen that I actually created, and I actually posted this online as well. So on Instagram, it's already getting quite a number of likes so far. So that's a good sign, you know. That's a good sign that people actually like the design and the effect that is being created by using Panel Pilot Ace Design Studio. Okay, guys, I think to the folks at Let's Get Electronics, I think you probably need to think about a nicer way to maybe a short form for the Panel Pilot Ace Design Studio, because the name is kind of long, and by the time I finish halfway through the sentence, I'm tongue tied with it. But I love the software. Okay, I love the software. All right, so finally, you know, we want to start understanding the strengths and limitations, as well as the potential use cases through product application exploration. So one of the things that I found in my own experience of being a sales engineer in the past is that when you can show people how they can actually make the best of the products they have bought or the products they are looking to invest in, the chances are they will feel more confident about using the product. And of course, on the other hand, as the user, by understanding the strengths and the limitations and the potential use cases, it will allow you to be able to get a handle of the product and also to really master the product, and later on in your implementation phase of your project, you can actually look at how to optimize it as well. The stuff, simple things like perhaps you talk about low power management modes. So some things like that, you know, you don't really learn on paper, and being able to understand the hardware that lies underneath the case itself is has a very important role to play. All right, so next thing we want to do is we're going to explore project ideas. The one thing that I've gathered from many brand partners, as well as potential brand partners, as well as potential community members and community members in general, many of them have claimed that the project idea showcasing is one of a very unique way to explore a product's capabilities. So that is definitely a unique point about online lab series right now. You know, we want to explore the real world use cases of these products. So, like for example, what I have here, I was working with this 4.3-inch Pedal Pilot Ace display module. So, you know, we're going to look at all the things you can do with this one product. And then in the range of panel pilot display modules, we're going to look at even the development kits. You know, how as a developer, if you have invested in that kit, what can you do with it? You know, how can you maximize it to its potential? So that is what this lab series is all about. Now we're going to explore also up to 18 different kinds of project and use cases over the next 9 months. So some of these displays will eventually be used in a live project. Live meaning, you know, we're going to build something and integrate it with Arduino or maybe STM32 development boards. And then we're going to let it run, you know, for a period of time while we continue with the lab series. So over a period of time, you can start to see the display and how it works. I'm going to do a lot of pre-recorded videos of those projects that are actively running during the lab series. So you're gonna see a lot of amazing projects that are around my house, all right, or even in public, and or even in a automotive application. You're gonna see a lot of this displays in action. So that is the goal for the next 9 months, which is gonna be amazing and really awesome. All right. Next, we're gonna do the project showcase through live streaming sessions. So occasionally, maybe over a period of a few lab series or lab sessions, we will actually bring out certain projects that I'm working on or in collaboration with other companies or businesses. Now, sometimes, you know, a business could come to us and say, hey, I have an IoT project with a particular use case. Would you like to collaborate with us? So online lab series becomes that perfect platform for them to build something at a low cost, because they give us the opportunity to use their use case. At the same time, we will also be able to showcase their idea on this platform and get ideas and so on. So it's really a good win-win situation for us as well as the businesses. And then again, to the guys at Let's Get Electronics, this is a great opportunity for you because with the businesses that we collaborate with to use your products in a particular project idea showcase, there's a good chance that I actually can get them to purchase those products from you guys straight. So this is actually, yeah, it's great for everybody. Alright, so finally we're gonna share some of our project ideas on DesignSpark. Now, DesignSpark is a makers community started by RS Components about six plus years, 7 years ago. So we are extremely honored and extremely lucky that they have agreed to partner with us recently. And with this official partnership, it means that we can build a bridge between the two communities. Now, on their community itself, by now they have over 500, no, 567,000 members in their community. So those community members, even as we speak right now, they are slowly eventually coming over to online lab series to know more about us, and our members are also going over to their site to know more about their community. So this is really a huge place to put up projects, especially if you are following us and you are learning about the display modules and you are building something and you want to showcase what you have created, you can do it on DesignSpark as well. So yeah, do take note of that. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the topics that we're going to cover during this lab series. Basically, we're going to look at the panel pilot displays, definitely. And we are also going to explore the development kit. I am really excited. Honestly, I'm so excited and waiting for the development kit to arrive. I know it's still probably a couple of weeks more. I can't remember, but I know that it will take some time, but it's going to be on the way. And that is something that we're going to cover later on into the lab series itself. All right, and of course, we're going to cover other Panel Pilot products. Panel Pilot B, which is one of the things that I'm going to use in quite a number of projects. So I think I already said this before this session. I expressed it to the team that they probably need to send me a couple of the Panel Pilot B displays. Send me like 3 more, will you? Thank you. All right, so we're going to explore the product integration as well. Obviously, when you work with displays, most of the time in the IoT world now, you can't avoid Arduino. There's no way you can avoid Raspberry Pi or even BagelBone. So these three development boards are like the most basic hardware interfacing. So we're going to cover that. And then on top of that, to be more value adding, I'm also going to talk about some of the other development boards. We are currently talking to makers and manufacturers like Texas Instruments. We are also talking to Silicon Labs. Silicon Labs are looking to sponsor some of their development boards to us as well. So we're going to explore all these different use cases during the lab series. Right, then of course we're going to touch on the UX engineering portion, the how-to when it comes to using Panel Pilot Ace Design Studio. So this is more like something that I was mentioning earlier in the presentation. We are going to tap the UX design practices and design patterns onto the Panel Pilot Ace Design Studio workflow. All right, so this is going to be a really, really value-adding learning experience for developers. Honestly, I come from a UX leadership background in the industry. I advocate a lot about how UX is not just a set of practices, but UX is also a mindset. So if you take that mindset, the UX and CX mindset into using Panel Pilot Ace Design Studio, I honestly believe that it will make your working experience really, really effective. All right. And then finally, of course, we're going to talk about the UX and CX design principles and best practices. Okay, so the lab series is going to kick off on May 30th, which is next Wednesday. So this is probably the only session in the whole entire lab series that you will see a PowerPoint slide. I think I made this clear to um, one of the contact people at Let's Get Electronics. This is the only time you'll see a presentation slide. Next week onwards, everything is going to be pretty hands-on. We're going to look at the hardware itself. We're going to look at the design studio as well, and that is what we're going to do for the rest of the lab series. All right. So between June and August period, of the lab series, we're gonna look at getting up and running with the panel pilot displays. I do apologize. I noticed that I kind of set the date to May 2019. This was the same presentation slide I was using for 4D systems on Monday, but just kind of ignore the flow. This flow is going to change anyway. Later on during the lab series, I will be readjusting the curricula as well to make sure that the curricula actually flows well for the developers who's actually learning about the products, as well as customers who are interested to know more about the products and what it can do. So pardon me for the 4 points here, just ignore. It's likely going to be 3 points only, but the flow is pretty much the same. The flow will pretty much stay this way, all right? So we're going to get up and running with the panel pilot displays. And then we're also going to explore some of the advanced UX and CX design concepts and practices. And then we're going to talk about how you can actually gain the full control of your panel pilot display products. This is something that is going to be a pretty strong emphasis for the lab series, whereby we're going to deep dive into each of those products and share with you how you can actually tweak and really make it work for you. All right. Now, of course, towards the end of the lab series itself, we're going to look at some of the advanced level use cases for the products. And we are also going to cover advanced topics with the Panel Pilot Ace Design Studio. Okay, so back to the lab curricula for the part one of the lab series. So as I mentioned, this lab series is only 9 months. There may be a chance we can extend the lab series depending on the response, as well as how much quality content we can produce. But for now, it's just 9 months. So this is part one of three. All right, this will be part one of three. So we're going to talk about getting up and running with the panel pilot displays. So getting acquainted, basically, I'll just do a quick introduction into some of the products that are available. And then we're going to explore the potential hardware integrations within the first 3 months of the lab series. We're going to look at Arduino, Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to explore all the different boards. Now, when I say Arduino, I'm talking about most of the boards you can find in Arduino, the most popular ones. Arduino Nano, Arduino Uno, Arduino Micro, Arduino M0 Pro, Arduino Mega, and Arduino MKR, and so on. And then we're going to look at Raspberry Pi with Raspberry Pi Zero, Raspberry Pi 3 Model B, Model B Plus. We're going to look at BeagleBone as well. So there's going to be a lot of different combinations that we're going to work with. And that's why, it's going to take more than a few sessions to cover all of that. But it's definitely going to be worth your time. All right. And then we're going to get familiar with the Panel Pilot Ace Design Studio. From what I have experienced earlier today, I think that it's really important to be familiar with the user interface at the very first part of the lab series, because later on in the lab series, when we start to talk about the more advanced concepts and features, you will need to have the basic background to be able to understand what we are doing later on. And there will be a lot of projects and exercises during this lab series that we can reuse later on in the lab series. So don't worry if you kind of miss this lab series, halfway through, or you kind of miss certain sessions. Don't worry, everything that we are going to broadcast will be recorded and uploaded to our website. So there will be pre-session articles, there'll be post-session articles. So there will be more than enough content for you to be able to follow along. All right. And finally, in the very first part of the lab series, we're going to do what I like to call, data communication and feedback. I feel that as a learner, one of the most important quick start things that you need to know is how to send data from, say, your Arduino board to the Panel Pilot Ace display, to display your data, and then from the Panel Pilot Ace display sending something back to your Arduino so that it can do the processing and so on, and just give feedback and kind of stuff. So these are the things that we are going to look into as well. Okay, so what are some of the things that you might need if you want to follow along with the lab series? Now, there could be customers from this is something that I believe it's good as well to encourage the team at Let's Get Electronics, especially the sales team, to actually really encourage your customers or potential customers to tune in to some of our live sessions. Now, if they are in between the live sessions and they want, okay, I'm sorry if the connection is a little bit bad earlier. Okay, I hope everything is okay. Um, I know it got a little bit interrupted earlier, so don't worry about it if there is some buffering and so on. This lab series this recording will be uploaded to YouTube, so you can come back and rewatch it if you miss certain things. All right. So what you're gonna need is you're gonna need at least the basic development boards like Arduino Uno, Leonardo, Mega, MKR, Zero Pro, Raspberry Pi, Bigger. You don't have to buy all of them. All right. My point here is that you just need any one of them if you are interested to learn. And on our end, I will be using many different development bots to showcase the integration. So don't worry about it. You don't have to get all of them. All right. Then when it comes to Panel Pilot B, Panel Pilot M, and Ace displays, now I think that for this lab series itself, if you really want to learn and know about all the different products, then you probably need to get at least one in each of the range, which will be good enough. If you are more of a use case kind of viewer and you know that you probably need Panel Pilot B, right, to solve a particular problem, so you can just get Panel Pilot B. There will still be content for you in the lab series as well. And don't worry about the size unless you are a use case viewer. So if you are just a learner, don't worry about the size. Just get any one of them. You can get a bigger one or the smaller one. Although I would strongly recommend starting with a smaller display size, because when you start with a smaller display size in a UX perspective, you actually get to appreciate and understand the importance of screen estate. What I mean by screen estate is actually the size of the dimension of your screen, all right, between. So let me just plug in the display on my end. Okay, so we're just gonna wait for the display to power up. So when you look at the display, this to this end is actually the size of the screen, all right, so the screen estate itself. Okay, so for the screen estate itself, it's important to understand how to actually make the most of it. So when you get a smaller screen, that is where you really learn from the experience, and then eventually you can get a bigger screens as well. All right. So next thing, you definitely need to have the Panel Pilot Ace IDE installed on your Windows 7, 8, or 10 environment. By the way, it's free. Thanks to the guys at Let's Get Electronics. You guys rock. Oh, I love the software and it's free. So thank you so much. You know, um, I think this is one of the reasons why I say that they really surprised me as a company. I've seen a lot of companies, really good companies, that develop really good softwares, but then obviously if they are really good, usually they are paid. So I mean that's fine. I mean I understand the reason behind it, obviously, but it's not easy to find great software that is free. And Let's Get Electronics, the team made it free. So I don't know what you guys do to earn money for that, but really kudos to you. Respect for that. I love you guys. I love the software, and I look forward to really showing more of the software in the future as well. Okay, so basically finishing up, you can leave your feedbacks for us under our published articles as well as our recorded sessions on YouTube or even on our social media networks. Um, Let us know if you have any ideas that you would like to explore with some of the products. Maybe for you, you might not need to get all the products for yourself, but you might be interested to want to learn certain concepts and ideas. Maybe you are interested to know how to set up a DAO. Maybe you're interested to know how to set up a bar graph, and how to make it look nice on the smaller screen or the bigger screen. Just let us know. Leave a comment. Now, in order to participate in our community, you should know that you need to sign up as a member. Now, the reason why you need to sign up as a member is so that I can moderate and make sure that people who post something on the community website is not spamming us, it's not abusing the right. Okay, so that's the whole reason why you need to sign up in order to leave comments and like the articles. All right. So with that, I just want to give a shout out to the team at Let's Go Electronics. I just want to say thank you very much for actually supporting us, supporting the learning platform. Thank you for sponsoring us with the products. Honestly, at this point in time, I just want to say I am just very surprised by how amazing their products are. Uh, I have to be very honest that when I was shortlisting smart display makers, that manufacturers that I want to include in the lab series, Lasker Electronics was not in the list. Eventually, Imogen, she approached me. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Sorry if I pronounced it wrongly. No disrespect there. But yeah, she approached me, and through our email correspondence, eventually we decided to take on their products. And I have to say, I am honestly not disappointed at all. The products are amazing. I mean, seriously amazing. Um, but yeah, I do hope that in the near future, you guys will start to create a wider range of display modules as well. I think that is something that can be benefited for the users as well, for whoever is thinking of using a smart display. All right, so thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate your time. It's great that we only took about 35 minutes for this session. I kind of planned 1 hour, but I knew that I don't need that long. With that, thank you very much. Next week I'll see you guys same time. All right, and we're gonna start our practical hands-on session. Thank you, and bye.